Welcome back, everyone. Once again, welcome to my library. There are many books I'm going to continue to read for you guys. So, for today, we're going to be reading Skippyjon Jones, one of the favorites of everyone. Skippyjon Jones by Judy Snagner. Every morning, Skippyjon Jones woke up with the birds. And this did not please his mother at all. "Get yourself down here right now, Mr. Kitten Britches," ordered Mama Junebug Jones. "No self-respecting cat ever slept with a flock of birds," she scolded, "or ate worms, or flew, or did his laundry in Mr. Doohiggy's bird bath." That lecture went on and on as usual. "You've got to do some serious thinking before you leave this room, Mr. Fuzzy Pants," said his mother, "about just what it means to be a cat. Not a bird, not a mouse, or a grouse, not a moose, or a goose, not a rat, or a bat. You need to think about just what it means to be a Siamese cat. And stay out of your closet," she added, closing the bedroom door. But once he was alone, Skippyjon Jones began to bounce and bounce and bounce on his big boy bed. "Oh, I'm Skippyjon Jones, and I bounce on my bed and once or 6 times, and I land on my head." On his way down to earth from a gigantic big bounce, Skippyjon Jones shot past his bedroom mirror. "Holy guacamole!" exclaimed Skippyjon Jones. "What was that?" So up he went again, and again it appeared. Then, using his very best Spanish accent, he said, "My ears are too big for my head. My head is too big for my body. I am not a Siamese cat. I am a Chihuahua." Back on land, Skippyjon Jones climbed into his toy box and riffled through some of his old junk. After he put on his mask and sword and climbed onto his mouse, Skippyjon Jones began to sing in a muy soft voice. "My name is Skippiro Frisquito. I fear not a single bandito. My manners are mellow and sweet like the jello. I get the job done, yes indeedo." Back in the kitchen, Jujubee Jezebel and Jilly Boo Jones were helping Mama Junebug Jones make lunch. "Can Skippyjon Jones come out of his room now?" asked Jujubee. "No," answered Mama Junebug Jones. "Mr. Fluffernutter is still thinking." In fact, Skippyjon wasn't thinking about being a Siamese cat at all. With a walk into his closet, his thoughts took him down a lonesome desert road, far away in old Mexico. Not long into his journey, a misterioso band of Chihuahuas appeared out of the dust. "Ay caramba! Who goes there?" asked Skippyjon Jones. "We go by the name of Los Chimichangos," growled Don Diego, the biggest of the small ones. "Who are you?" "I am El Skipito, the great sword fighter," said Skippyjon Jones. The smallest of the small ones spoke up. "Why the mosquito, dude?" asked Poquito Tito. "I go incognito," said Skipito. "Do you like rice and beans?" asked Pintolito. "Si, I love mice and beans," said Skipito. "He might be the dog of our dreams," whispered Rosalita. "Perhaps," said Tia Mia, "if he knows the secret password." Leaning toward Don Diego, El Skipito half sneezed, half spoke the secret password into the Chihuahua's very large ear. Ah, chu, pichu. Bless you, said Don Diego. Gracias, said Skipito. Then it is true, decreed Don Diego. Yip, yippee, yippito. It's the end of Alfredo Bazito. Skipito is here. We have nothing to fear. Adios to the bad Bombobito. Then all of the chimichangos went crazy loco. First, they had a fiesta. Then they took a siesta. But after waking up in the chimichangos got down to serious business. Using his paw, Don Diego drew a picture in the sand of the great Bombobito for Skipito to see. A hush grew over the chimichangos so great that no one could hear a whisker drop. Alfredo Busito, whispered the crowd, El Blimpo, Bumbleplito, Bandito. Sí, said Poquito Tito, the bandito steals our frijoles, not your beans, cried Skipito, outraged. Sí, Poquito continued, red beans, black beans, Boston baked and blue, cocoa, coffee, kidney beans, pinto, and jelly beans, jelly too. And now he comes for us, Poquito added. ¿Por qué? Asked Skipito. Because we are full of beans too. Then Don Diego stood tall and in his most somber voice declared, Yo quiero frijoles. Huh? Asked Skipito. The dude just wants his beans back, said Poquito Tito. And you are the dog for the job. Me? Asked Skipito. Then all of the chimichangos turned towards Skipito, the great sword fighter. But poor Skipito had no time for a plan because in the blink of an eye a gigantic shadow darkened the landscape. The chimichangos scattered in all directions. Vamos, Skipito, or it is you, the bandito, will eat-o, they cried. Skipito stood his ground, but his leg chimed and shook like a jello, and his teeth chattered like the castanets. Then in a muy soft voice he said, My name is Skipito Frisquito. I fear not a single bandito. But Alfredo Busito flew straight for Skipito until the bean-eating bandito hovered only inches away from the great fighter's face. Holy frijoles! Cried Skipito as he thrust his sword in the air. Suddenly, pop! Went the bandito, landing on Skipito's sword, and quicker than one could say Chihuahuas, cheese, and crackers, every kind of bean came spelling out of Alfredo's Busito, the Bumblebee bandito. Then all the doggies burst into song. Yippee, yippee, yippito! Our hero is El Skipito. He's the dog of our dreams. He delivered the beans. And now we can make our burritos. But back at home, there was such a ruckus coming from Skippyjon's room that Mama Junebug Jones and the girls just had to find out what was going on. They raced down the hall of the kitty's boy's room. Banquito, Crashito, Papito, Skipito. Just in time to see Skippyjon's closet exploding. Then out flew Candy, Beanbag Doggies, and the kitty boy with his birthday piñata on his head. Skippyjon Jones, everyone cried. Hola, muchachitas, he said in a muy soft voice. Mama Junebug Jones lifted a Skippyjon and covered his head with furry, purry kisses. What am I doing? What am I going to do with you, Mr. Cocoa Pugs? She scolded. That night, when he was supposed to be going to sleep, Skippy John began to bounce and bounce on his big boy bed. Oh, I'm Skippyjon Jones with a mind of my own, and I'll bounce on my bed for hours. I know I'm a cat, but forget about that. Say good night, Skippyjon Jones, called his mama. Buenas noches, mis amigos, said Skippyjon Jones. The end. So that was the end of the story. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it and continue reading, everyone.